Hello, my name's Chris, this is Blue Kraken Gaming, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where if you are enjoying the series, I would ask that you please consider leaving a like, a comment or a subscription. Any or all help the channel grow and they help get it out in front of other people, so thank you very much to those of you that do that. Now, in our last episode, we finally got our supercomputer. Excuse me, our supercomputer set up pretty much done. We just need to get the AI limiters up here and then a way out. We also need some power. So let's pop a power pole here. Power these bad boys on so they can start grabbing stuff. And then, like I say, it is just the AI limiters, which are, yeah, all the way down here. That is no mean feat to try and get back. Now, how many of these do we need a minute? So we need 7.5. Okay, which means we can make do with tier 1. So let's immediately just jump back in. So if we were to do this, that's going to run along here. Okay, so we're already getting some of these up. And we're using those for... Oh, okay, yeah, we're bringing those up for the circuit boards. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I was making sure that we hadn't brought the AI limiters up because, you know, it's been a week since I recorded this. Okay, so we need to get the AI limiters, which are here, up on this. So I'm thinking... Oh, this is getting proper spaghetti junction now. If we were to try and fit it in here as a way to get... Whoop. That's not going to work because the computers are there. We could do it from here. Because, you know, at some point this floor does need to be filled in. So we could do that. And then feed it in over here, like that. Okay, so that gets us to this level, and then we could have... I'm going to say there. I've no idea what that does to a light switch below. Oh no, that's good. We can work with that. Okay. So we can put you there. You're going to come up here and feed into that one. And now... You're going to have to come down slightly. And then we want to try and get it up and on the same level. Like that. And voila. Oh, look at that. That's even dead straight. Okay. So that should then start feeding the AI limiters up. Good. That's all coming up. The concern I've got is absolutely this, because that is running down. Okay. So that in theory is then going to start our supercomputer production, which is good. We're then going to want a merger tucked in there. Then... Oh, we're going to want a storage bin. Where are we? Industrial storage. It'll be here. And in like that. Okay. So you guys are genuinely just waiting on the AI limiters now, but that should be coming. That's going to fill up on high-speed connectors. Yeah, there they are. So they're on the way. But like I say, it's going to be that copper that we need to try and sort out. So let's go over and see if there's anything we can do about that. I'm not convinced there is, because I think we've already maxed out this node. Which means I think that's already putting out as much as it can until we get it up to a tier 3 miner. Yeah, see, that's already fully overclocked. And you're doing 300 a minute, and we've got the 10 smelters. We've got the 10 smelters, so that is already doing as much as it can. Now, we could be more efficient with this, because you guys are doing 30 sheets, or 30 ingots into 15 sheets, whereas you do 1 to 1. So that would increase it if we turned these off and we put more down there. So I'm actually tempted to do exactly that, and we'll take out the... just turn them off. Okay, so that's then going to send more ingots down here. Now you guys are not fully turned on yet because you're waiting for ingots. So if we do that, is that going to start helping with this flow rate? Kind of want to know that. But either way, we're going to get more copper sheets out by turning those off and sending those ingots into here, because then, like I say, it's 1 to 1 instead of 2 to 1 for the production of ingots to sheets. So that's already going to be more efficient for us. Is it going to be efficient enough? That is then the question. Because you are turning off, which means you're probably not getting your 3 ingots before you construct this one. Not quite, okay. But is that because this manifold is still filling? I mean, that does look it, doesn't it? Yeah, that does look like it's that manifold refilling. Okay. How much are we actually getting through on that? Where is our... there we go, throughput monitor. Right. There we go. Let your calculations go on. That was such a good addition when they put the throughput monitor in. I love that. And we've got the console release coming out soon for this. So for those of you that are console players only, I really hope you guys are looking forward to this. You are being given it at the, you know, the best time, because 1.0 is phenomenal. It's come such a long way. Like, even since when I started playing it in, what was I started at update 4. And, like, going back and watching some of the original, like, update 1 stuff is just bonkers. Right, so we're looking at about 270. So that's 56.25. Okay, so we've got 56.25 times 2. Okay, let's hold on to that. Plus, looks like 22.5 times 6. Okay, plus 22.5 times 6. So that's saying 247.5 a minute it needs. You're getting 270. Okay. Which means that will get there. Which means we could probably turn one of these back on. Does that make it 277? Okay, no, we can't quite. Which means I want to downclock this to 8 a minute. Oh, hang on, no, what was that at 100? That's only needing 20 a minute, not 30. Oh, hang on. It's because it's still got the overclock stat on there. So 20 would make that 267. So yeah, I can turn one of these back on. Although actually, that's still not the best thing to do. Because, like I say, these are 1 to 1. What I'm best off doing is making one of these use an extra 20 copper sheets a minute. So that means I'd want to put target production rate is 1 to 1, so I want that to be 42. There you go. And that should use all of it perfectly then. Okay. Okay, so that should then hopefully manifold that. That's going to be better with the throughput of You're now saying 267 a minute. That's not the maths I've worked on, thank you. We'll have to see how that rolls out. We might have a bit of trouble at the end then. So, that's going to hopefully help with that. Let's have a look and see what that's done to our box of copper sheets. What are we doing with that? That's still going down. Yeah, okay, so we've still not quite got enough. But that is absolutely maxed out with the copper sheet, or the copper now. Okay, we physically can't do any more with that. Okay, well that's going to be frustrating, because that's going to bring things to a grinding halt. So, let's have a look. We were looking at supercomputers for this first space elevator part for what we're on this one. So, recipe, we want not modular engines. Oh, are they not in here? What are they in? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so we're taking the adaptive control units and putting supercomputers with them to make the assembly director systems. Okay, so that was 1.5 a minute and less than 1 a minute. How many of these are we making? We're making 2 of these a minute. Okay. Well, that means we can feed 1. Sure. Okay. Okay. Where's going to be the best place to put that then to make it look tidy? Like, because it's only 1, I really kind of just want to throw it up here. Because that's really not going to be much to worry about. Because we're going to be making, yeah, way more than we need for just that. So we're going to have tons of spare. Let's bring this out a bit more. Mark 1 belt, because we don't need anything else. Right, we'll bring it down that far to start with, and then that's a merger. We're going to want a smart splitter. And we're going to come up here. Let's get up onto this ledge so I can then make it look the right height. No, don't worry about straight. Now we can worry about straight. We'll feed it in like that. And you are going to be... Right will be any, forward will be overflow. Should we get to that? And then... There we go. Nice slapdash, but this I don't expect to be permanent. This is genuinely just to facilitate getting the space elevator part done. And then cool, there we go, and that's just going to get on with it on its own quietly in the background. Why are you red? There you go. I needed to tell you what you needed to make. Cool. So yeah, that's just going to get on with that in the background. Lovely. So, what do we need next? Next, I have concerns about power. Power is becoming a concern for me because of how far that max consumption has gone above. So, I think we might have to start looking at nuclear power, which is going to be awkward. So let's have a look at our milestones and see what we need for that. So the hazmat suit is going to be something we absolutely need, and we need to make the that's it, we need to start making fabric, because we're not making fabric at the moment and we need to. Power shards in there. We don't need to be carrying the 65 on us. Okay, so we need aluminium casing. We need some quick wire. And then we need the we need the filters. Now the filters we're not making yet because they need the fabric. So it's fabric, coal and iron plates, but we haven't got anything producing fabric. Now fabric we would make with a refinery. I think it's with a refinery, isn't it? The polymer? No. Well, either way, we need the polymer. Is it a constructor? I'm sure I've researched it. Have I not researched it? I thought I had. Right. Mycelia. There we go. No, I haven't. Because I need the polymer. Okay. Right. Well, that means we need to head over to... where might we be making polymer? Okay, well the other thing I want to do, thinking about one of the places I'm going to check, is I'm going to want some of these radio control... Basically, I want to start a drone port up so that we can have a drone delivering fuel for wherever it might be needed. And I think we're going to start with petrol. So, let's get these radio control units, because we're not producing those yet, but we're going to. And I think we're going to want to start with them. So, how many do we get? Where's my shopping basket? You don't tell me how many I get. Oh, okay, we get 50 at a time. Sure. That's going to keep me going for a little while.
A license for these Fix-It Awesome Shop products.
Okay. Well, we can get a couple of miners as well, which will let us get easily a couple of drones going. And then we need the high-speed connectors that we're making upstairs. This is just becoming a monster. I'm not happy with it. Like, I know I'm producing the stuff. I know I've got things being built, but it would be nice to make it look tidy, but we're not in a position to do that. Right, okay, so there's our high-speed connectors. So, I think the first place I'm going to check to see if we've got any polymer is over at our plastic factory. And what are you? You're carrying plastic. You're exactly where I think I need to go. Yep. First station, old oil. Perfect. So we'll head up this way. And we will see whether we've got any polymer being made there, or whether we've got any random spare oil we can make use of. Because I know we've got some oil we're using at the gunpowder plant, but I don't know whether we're using all of it. So, yeah, I want to have a look at that. And then, yeah, we're going to need to set up... I mean, the drones make life so much easier just to be able to ship stuff around. There's no two ways around it. I love having drones. I've missed them. The trains are great, but the fact you've got to lay out all this transport infrastructure makes it harder. The drones are just, right, pop it down, off it goes, it's going to move stuff around for me. Just makes life so much easier. So, I cannot remember. It's been so long since we set up this oil factory down here. I cannot remember if we're doing anything with polymer. If we got somewhere we're just randomly turning it into something we don't really need, that would be amazing. Right, hop out of here. Hop down. Right, okay, so let's have a look, because I don't remember what we're doing. So we've got... So that's sinking rubber. So we've got rubber and plastic coming through. You're doing it from heavy oil residue. So yeah, that's crude oil into plastic, into heavy oil residue, turning heavy oil residue into fuel, which is feeding these fuel generators here. Okay, that's fine. What did we have going on over here? Okay, so this is where we're taking some more fuel, it looks like, and... Okay, making that. You are taking polymer resin and making plastic. Okay. How are we doing with the polymer resin? The polymer resin... So we're producing... You're idle because you have not been able to get rid of your polymer resin. Okay, hang on. Why? What's wrong with this merger? So you should be like that. You're going in there like that. And you're going in there like that. Okay, so that's now getting rid of that. Okay. Now how much are we doing? You're doing 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So that's 150 polymer resin a minute. And you're using, in theory, 160. Now, are we sinking any of this plastic? We're not, because we're sinking those containers. So you're, in theory, at full rate making 40 plastic a minute. But we're clearly not needing this many containers. I want to cause that to back up. I kind of want to cause all of this to back up to see how much spare polymer resin we've got. To see whether we're going to be able to make use of any of the spare resin. So we're going to get rid of that plastic line as well. Because if there is spare resin and we can use that to... I mean, I've got 7 resin there. Don't need 193, but we'll take it. That's the thing. You guys are... What? What a... Oh. Yeah, that should be a Mark II lift. Because that'll stop those guys getting their full speed. There we go. So they're now going to chew through that resin faster. So if we were to put... Oh, no. What I want is a... Ah! Why am I accidentally bringing up all of the blinking... Right. I want that in the middle there. I want to see how much resin is passing. Because I think it's going to be about the 150 mark once everything's said and done. Because I think if we... Well, you're basically empty. You're empty. Is my maths right? Because that's the thing, actually. They've got a... Actually, yeah, where is... Hang on. So that's doing that. Oh, that's where the fuel's coming out. Okay, they're backwards. The fuel is coming out here. Okay. Alright. So how much fuel are you guys making? So that's 40, 80, 120... So that's 200 fuel a minute. And I've got 5 here, and I bet you guys are doing... Yeah, 40. So 540s, yeah, that'd be 200 fuel a minute. Okay. So that should be exactly the right amount of fuel to feed these guys. You don't appear to be getting backed up on canisters. Oh, you are. You guys have tons of canisters in stock. Okay, that's fine. How's our resin looking? 150 on the button. Okay. Which is not enough to feed these. Alright. Let's have a look. Let's get the fabric research done. Because we've definitely got the resin now. Okay.
Research completed. Polyester fabric recipe unlocked. Using polyethylene terephthalate, production of a lightweight and strong fabric can be automated. It has many of the properties of naturally sourced fabric, and also amplifies body odor.
Okay. So, produced a refinery 30 minutes, so it needs 30 of each. Okay. How many... So you need 40 canisters, so it's 200 canisters a minute that you need. And we're making... I mean, that's 180. Oh, that is actually 200. So apparently you're making exactly the right number of canisters. And yet we still saw loads flying past on an overflow. Okay, unusual for me to be that, you know, balanced with what I'm thinking I'm doing. Okay, and how much plastic do you need? 30, 60, 90. So you need 100 plastic a minute. Hang on, wait, what? How is that working? 30 per minute. So that's 100 plastic. And you're making 20 per minute. And you're making 30 a minute. Hang on. Oh, okay, so that's perfectly balanced. That's using the 150, but that's still only making 50 plastic a minute, and you guys are telling me you need 100 plastic per minute. What have I done here, and why is this working? Like, oh, because I'm feeding the extra plastic from here. Yes, okay. So... you're having extra plastic fed from here. Right. Okay. So how much plastic are we making here? So you're all fully set up. So that's 20. So that in theory is 200 plastic a minute. We are trying to ship some of that out, but we're getting plastic from elsewhere now. So I'm actually tempted to upgrade this line here. Let that do all of the plastic. Cut that. Because that should be fine and keep that up to date. And then... we change these to make us fabric. Where are we? Fabric. Okay. So that's 45 a minute. So that's going to use... hang on. Oh, yes, because that one's overclocked. Okay. So if we need 150 gone a minute, that'd be 75 in each of them. Okay. Right, where are those overclocking power shards? Right. So I need 75 a minute. Oh, okay, that is genuinely just that. Fine. Okay. And then that's going to keep using all of the polymer. We're going to want to clear that plastic line. How much are you making? You're going to make 75 a minute, which means that needs to be marked 2s each. Okay, and then logistics, no, organisation. Let's give them somewhere to put it. There we go, logistics. Then we're going to have to do this again. You're going that way. No, you're... no, I need that like that. You're going like that, which means you're the wrong way round. Oh dear, right. Like that. Right. In like that. In like that. In like that. And then round like so. Okay, so that's going to get the fabric flowing. Okay, and then we've got to get the fabric out. Which is making me go, let's have a concrete wall. Pop that there. Nice curve up like that. Okay, a couple of random pieces of plastic left there. Okay. Right, so you're going to come out the back here, and then I think what we're going to do is we're going to very quickly set up our transport. There we go. I want 2 drone ports. Oh, they are bigger than I remember them being. Okay, well, we'll set one up there. To be fair, that'll be fairly straightforward because you're going to be loading, so we're going to want to send you up like that. Make it a Mark II. Mark II line in there. Cool. Okay, so that's then going to start feeding that. You're going to need to be powered, which we can do. Okay. And then we need to get fuel over here. Which we've got a ton of fuel over here. So what I think we can do is... We've got a smart splitter there. So if we put a hole in the floor there. Receive. And we'll make that an any as well, so they can go forwards. Right, then we're going to need to go under and basically pipe it to... Right, over here somewhere. So, just going to run this episode a smidge longer, just so we can get this straight. Let's get it straight. Right. We need to get it all the way over here. Right, let's see where we need to bring it up. Because then we've at least got ourselves a target. Oh, look at that, lovely. That's just connected straight in. Beautiful. Okay. Then you need to go in. I've come too far. Like that. Okay. Alright, so that's going to start feeding some fuel over here, because drones can use anything now. They don't just have to use batteries. They can use any fuel they like. So I can put that in there, which will give it something to start with. There we go. Fuel, packaged fuel. Have fun. This port is going to be fabric out. Oh, no, hang on. There we go. Cool. And then we're going to have to set up the one on the other end, and we'll need some more to deliver fuel. So we need at least 2 more of those and 2 more of those. But I'm going to wrap up this episode here and say, as usual, likes, comments, subscriptions, they will help the channel grow. They help get it out in front of other people. So thank you very much to those of you that do that. Thank you very much to my YouTube channel members. Your support is very much appreciated. And please don't forget that as a supporter, you do get access to the save files for any of the open world games I'm currently playing, along with access to the blueprints that might be used on them. And more importantly for you guys, you gain early access to the videos, so you get to see what's going on before anybody else does. But other than that, thank you all very much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you all next time.